Sit straight. Close your eyes gently. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurudeva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With eyes closed, repeat after me the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Suvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Suvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Yesterday we have spoken about the mind and also the importance of learning to manage, master, and to befriend the mind. Now think about it. If you have to live with a person of bad character, rude, angry, huh, frustrated, depressed, how does it feel living with such people? And there's one person that you have to live with, no choice, and that is your mind. Now, people keep saying, oh, it's so difficult to master the mind. No? Many times I'm asked this question, but I ask a question back again. And normally, when somebody asks you a question, you should not counter ask a question, no? Like one husband and wife are fighting. The wife told the husband, have you noticed every time I ask a question, you reply with a question? He says, do I? But I asked the question that have we ever tried to tune up our mind? No? We wanted to tune up, but we do not actually do anything to master this mind. Now think about it. If you were to pick up a puppy from the street, huh? If you were to pick up a puppy from the street, wow, then mate. If you were to pick up a puppy from the street and then you want them to follow the disciplines of your house, the puppy knows nothing. What will it do? No? Now, if you have to train the puppy, it takes days or not? A lot of effort, a lot of perseverance also. Does it or does it not? Yeah? If you take the puppy out, it'll straight run into the street under a car. And these days, I don't know who will sue you because it doesn't have any relatives, but you'll be sued for that. Yeah? First of all, when you take a dog outside, an untrained dog, you put it on a leash, don't you? Huh? You put it on a leash. And even if it's a puppy and you are a 6-footer, that little puppy is so strong that, have you seen? It'll drag you. Human children are worse. They'll drag you. But if you don't give up and you keep pulling it back, every time it goes to sniff something dirty, you pull it back. Every time it goes to, say, the road where it can be dangerous, you pull it back. After regular, constantly pulling it back, what happens? He knows that you're not going to give up and it's going to strain him. So you just give a little tug, and the puppy comes back. After some time, you can very comfortably remove the leash and take your dog outside for a walk. But even there, you have to be attentive and watch. Yeah? But that dog which has been trained, all you have to say is Moti. In India, every dog used to be called Moti. Now it's Sasha, Pasha, Dasha, So you Moti, and the dog looks at you and comes back. Have you seen Ganesha's mouse? There's laddus there, there's modak there are sweets there, and these days there are chocolates there also. But it's constantly looking up. Do I have your permission? It is not that you have to cage your mind, but if you have trained your mind is like Ganesha's mouse or a trained puppy. It will ask you for permission. Can I? And if you think it's fine, yes, do it. Or if it sometimes try to, your dog sometimes try to go and put its mouth in the plate, you say, Moti, it comes back. So have we really trained our mind or taken it for granted? Yeah. So we have done, none of our education trains us. No? But one thing is that when you are brought up in a cultural society with values from childhood, at least one thing is, your mind may be wild, but your mind is a good mind. That's why when the Janayu is given, these virtues like brahmacharya, ahimsa, satya. What do they mean? The children already said it. No? Qualities that were said by Guru Nanak Sahib of compassion, contentment, honesty, and mastery over the senses. Again, when we say mastery over the senses, I don't use the word control, because the moment you use the word control, people get out of control. Everybody is controlling these days. But you are being controlled by the mind and the senses. That you don't mind. But controlling the mind and senses, because you are so identified with it, you think, why should I control? I remember I was speaking in New Zealand, and it's not now, quite a long time ago. They were predominantly all Caucasians. Only one ethnically Indian there. And they were so inspired by the introductory talks. that they brought their friends. And when I was supposed to leave, that time I was in Australia, so I could change my ticket if required. They insisted that no, we have to have a meditation camp and you're not going back. They changed my ticket and we had overnight, we arranged for a retreat to go somewhere there. And I was taking for them Tattva Bodh. No? Even to gain that meditative poise, first of all, you have to learn to withdraw your senses. And old time, we use a vocabulary, no, that which we didn't mind it made sense to us. If you say sense control, sense mastery, it was very clear to us that at this moment we are a slave. If we can be a master, it's good. But any word with control, like today, there are certain words you just can't use. Yeah, you'll have flare ups. So every generation has that. I just use the word sense control. This was quite common for us. It's there in all our books. And oh God, they went wild. They just wouldn't listen further. Why senses? And of course, even Indians. Oh, why should we control our senses? Why has God given us what only to drink, be merry, and then blame God for your failures? No? So we don't think, so we say these things. Okay, I came back after that, somehow tried to explain them the difference between suppression and sublimation. All this I explain. When out of fear or out of guilt, etc., you control that, that is suppression. But when your own intellect tells you that this is harmful for you and you control, it leads to sublimation. All this I've been explaining to them. But still, it's like a crime. I use the word sense control. Then I came back to Australia. Every year I have youth camps everywhere around the world. So I had this youth camp and I was taking the secret of success, which is there in Vibhishan Gita. Why I'm telling you, these are some wonderful things our youth can learn, and I'm sure they are being also in the various camps. So Vibhishan Gita, where Ramchandraji is telling Vibhishan how to build yourself the chariot of Dharma. This chariot of Dharma for sure victory means basically it is a complete course on sure success. Nobody can give you any sure success. But it's a complete course on sure victory, sure success. And there also Ramchandraji speaks about that those who have got these virtues, values, such as honesty, politeness, yeah, confidence, perseverance, patience, all these qualities, those who have, people in life cannot defeat them. And one of the qualities, again, he mentioned the same word that we find in Vedanta, even for success in the material world. He uses the word Dhamma. Again, I knew no better language. I used the word sense control. And these were predominantly Indian youngsters brought up in Australia. Yeah. So they also went out of control. But there was an Australian who was cooking in the camp as well as managing the thing. And he had insisted that I want to listen to Swamiji, but I am cooking. So will you all see that I get a speaker? And that time, it was not that you could put it on YouTube and say, oh, go watch. So I want to listen, but I'm in the kitchen behind. So our youngster had arranged for them. I used the word sense control, and the whole session went out of control. Yeah? But here I purposely told about sense control so that I can have the joy of correcting you. Yeah, because your mind must have gone mild. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All this spirituality is only about sense control, not to have be a boring life, you know. And he sent me such a beautiful note. See, I give copyrights, no plagiarism. You give the credit. He sent me a note so beautifully. In middle of the session, he kind of sent. He said, Swamiji, nowadays people are allergic to the word control. They don't mind controlling others, but everybody else is controlling on them, no? They, they are affected by the word control. Try using it, try using sense management. And you see, in the 90s and early 2000, everything was management, management, management. And therefore, I brought out that whole series of talks which were available earlier on CDs. You know, now it's formed of a book called as Life Management Techniques. Anything with management, everybody is ready to take it up. No? So, really speaking, it is not shutting down your son. Those monkeys, no, close your eyes, close your ears, close your mouth. They're not from our Hindu culture. Yeah? We say Badram Karne Vishunyam Deva. We pray that we should listen, but listen that which brings happiness, peace, prosperity to our mind. Huh? Listen to that knowledge that will bring purity to our mind, means purity of intention, purity of thought, and that is that which gives us peace. Huh? Badram Pashemak Jatra. That, O worshipable ones, may we see that which is auspicious. Yeah? And sthirairangaiva tushtava. That with firm, healthy body, because ill body again, pain, sorrow. May we live the span of our life serving the universe, serving the Lord, which means we take in purity, inspiration. We speak so that we hear that which is auspicious. This is what is called as Shama, Dhamma, these qualities of being master of your senses and your mind. Yeah? And therefore, the first thing that is pointed out to children, and all of us have been brought up like this in any country in the world, not just Indians, we are taught certain values, certain way of behaving. And especially as students in a classroom, members of a family, colleagues in an institution, or citizens in a nation, if we do not follow certain values, naturally, what is going to be there? Or certain laws or certain disciplines. There'll be complete chaos. There will be complete war. Is it not? If on the road you think you have the right and you do not follow the laws of the road, of traffic, and every yellow signal, okay, red is to stop, green is to go, but yellow means to go very fast. And everybody thinks they've got right of way, like you go to India. Yeah? Any crossroad, first of all, the signal is not working, whether it's deliberately broken or not. And if there's a and today there's not policemen, there are policewomen. India is so advanced, I'm telling you. At least we have got woman president, woman prime minister. Yeah. You know, backward countries should learn progressive thinking. Yeah. indigenous people are today the president of the country. So it'd be sheer chaos. So it's in every family institution, we have to follow certain values. Now, as I said, one thing is we have to live with our mind. So, couple of things are required with the mind. First of all, the values that you have in your mind. If you've got a wicked mind, if you've got a jealous mind, if you've got an angry mind, who has to bear it first? Yeah. Learn to value values. Values are that which makes your mind a good friend. Now, suppose you have to live, say, in a hostel or live in the dormitory with some you call as friends, but those have got bad habits, they have got bad language, they are intolerant. How will be your life living in that room? Tell me. Yet, when we are told to cultivate values, you know why we don't cultivate values? Because we value values in others, but not in ourselves. But remember, values are more hmm, valuable than valuables. No? Therefore, to children, what we give in Bal Vihar is samskar. And that's why it is also called as Janayu Samskar. Now you might say, oh, we have not given our children, we have not given our children thread and all that. Thread is a symbol. But what our children are developing in Bal Vihar and what you must encourage the community of people to bring them to Bal Vihar, because at this early age, you can develop in yourself virtues. In fact, in any age you can do. Yeah. But it becomes difficult. Therefore, earlier in age, we are given a cultural upbringing. And please don't say, another thing that which I very often used to hear, even when I used to come 30 years ago. Oh, we are brought up in Western culture. And our parents are telling us to follow Indian culture. So Indian culture is of disciplines, of values, etc. Are you insulting Western culture? So I said, what do you call as Western culture? Huh? A lifestyle is not culture. Do not insult Western culture. But yes, today there's not much culture left. Huh? Know the difference between. So I said, what is there? Oh, those days they would be saying smoking. Today you'll say vaping. Is that a culture? The word Samskrita, not just a language, samskara, that which develops you, that which improves you, is called as samskara. It's called as samskriti, culture. See, in Sanskrit, the word itself defines it. It is called as culture. Therefore, blessed are those, they can be anywhere in the world, who are brought up in a loving, value based family or value based education. When Puja Gurudev started about 100 schools in the country, and especially for NRIs, the Chinmaya International Residential School, where you should be sending your children, if not even for 11th and 12th. It's one of the top schools in international baccalaureate. It was not just good education, which every school should give, and not many schools give. But along with education, the building of the character. Because what helps us is not this informative knowledge, not even degrees to keep a job. It is your interaction with people where your values come into play. Yeah? So when you say mastering the mind, we think that there is, what? Some gadget we can put. Hmm? They're trying to find out. Maybe they'll have an app. Yeah. Mindful apps are there. Yeah. But mind control apps, mind management apps, whatever program is there, we have to follow. Hmm? So, first and foremost is early in life, develop the values, and mind directly is not easy to master, but prevent your senses from hearing, seeing things that can contaminate your mind. Means do things which is beyond your ideal, beyond your principles, beyond your upbringing. Huh? So follow those values. Then you have a friend of a mind that you would love. Now, see, if your friend goes and backbites behind you, stabs you in the back, lies, cheats you, they are more dangerous than enemies. Is it not? Now, with what danger we entertain our mind and allow the mind to do anything? Therefore, first and foremost is the company that we keep. Not only of people, but books, television, social media. What company we keep. Yeah? We cannot be without television today. We cannot be. You can stay away from it, but even news you'll have to see. You can't be away from social media today because notifications will keep on coming. Yeah? But what we say no to and what we indulge. Good things are there on television also. Good things are there on social media also. And as you go out today, take the QR code of our Chinmaya missions. No, the best of things you will get. So all these, when you say Balvihar classes, study groups, satsang you may call it, all this helps you to master your mind. Master the mind is not like, take a pill. So therefore these values were given. But to make the mind powerful, strong, to make the mind more capable. As I said yesterday, it's the most sophisticated equipment in the universe. It's the cause of our bondage, it's the cause of our liberation. We need tools to master the mind also. And here, master the mind means to make the mind single pointed, focused, concentrated. Now, all you good people, because you're not bad people, yeah? You may have certain, things that disturb you, but you're not bad people. All of you being brought up in a very cultural, value based environment. Sometimes some thoughts come, and that is what we struggle to bring us back on our path, on our focus, on our goal. So, this training of the mind, we need some powerful tool, specially to control this mind from the onslaught of subtle vasanas or thoughts. Now, for those of you who sit in meditation, you know that suddenly from somewhere some thought comes. Is it not? Now, even those who are not meditating, the casual jobs, anybody can be successful. But those who want to attain even great material success in your profession, a doctor who just dishes out pills to everybody according to the pharmaceutical company is not a big deal. In India, the compounder could do that. You didn't need the doctor for that. Nurses do a better job. Yeah. But to understand new diseases, to know certain things, you have to have concentration of mind. Besides the values, you need focus of mind. So, even for meditation or for success in this world, three things are required. One is the clarity of mind. If I use the word purity again, you understand in a Puritan sense. A clear mind, clarity of mind. And that is gained when your intentions are good, when your attitude is good, when your behavior is good. So you need a pure mind. Then what you require is a mind which is focused, concentrated. And there is where it's not that we do not have it, but when we try to meditate, when we try to keep it on our studies, when we try to keep it on our job, or when we set some high goal for ourselves and we want to keep ourselves focused, the mind gets distracted. There is where most of us, even now, will struggle, isn't it? And the third is a quiet mind. And a quiet mind is not just only at peace. At sleep also you can be quiet. And to be quiet mind, I don't know what people take. That is not what quiet mind is. A quiet mind is a mind where our intelligence rises. Yeah? Now, all of us, especially who have been brought and know a lot about Western history, yeah? Two names, anybody who studied in India, I don't know about America, Bhavin. Yeah? But studied in India, know the name of two scientists. One is Newton, that even everybody else knows, and the other is Archimedes. Have you heard of these two? Newton discovered gravity and laws of motion. And Archimedes discovered what? Hmm? See, they know it, right? But more than buoyancy, what he discovered was how to measure irregular objects. And his Eureka is very famous. Yeah? Even with concentration, when you apply your mind, it's required. Your mind can be very agitated. Yeah? I'm not getting the results, or I can't understand why apple falls down. Yeah? But when something hits you, for a moment, you're silent. And that's where revelations take place. That's where discoveries take place. That's how our rishis discovered these powerful sources of knowledge, which we call as mantras. In a quiet, alert, pure, vigilant mind. Today, I was talking to a group of people, yeah, who culturally were the top business people in the world. Yeah. They were entrepreneurs. Rare were they who would even go and take up a job. Yeah? Not that you should not take up a job. What I'm saying is, but having lost that mindset, as well as, reveling just in parties, the youth, what has happened to them? And this happens when we do not have the right values, sense management, focus, because the senses only take away our mind, focus, huh, concentration, and at the same time, the quietude of mind. When these three things are there, you don't have a weak, dull mind which you think is under your control. You have a powerful friend who can accomplish anything, who can make anything happen. And this is not a casual statement by Banks. In Yog Vashishta, Ramchandraji says that sometimes we put in effort, yet we see nothing happens. Is it God's will? Is it? No. And sage Vashishta gives that philosophy, that teaching, that instruction, that methodology by which he says, your destiny is in your hand. And it's not like that only that Ramchandraji became so mighty and so great. Because yesterday I said, one who's mastered the mind can master any situations and circumstances, and any situation can be a master, and when challenged in a war, cannot but be victorious. This is the type of education that was given to the students, and even before they started their education, the Upanayana was given to certain virtues that you essentially have to have as students. But at the same time, every child is not going to be either interested or will be able to understand in the same intellectual level. Now, another important thing, and I'm explaining all these things because we are constantly bombarded by this. Yeah. Every parent wants their children to come first in the class, which means every subject. Whether they have the aptitude for it, they have the ability for it. Thank God those children whom you used to call disabled children, and now you qualify many of your normal children as spectrums. Please don't do that. I do like that word, differently abled. Huh? Like that any one of you would have actually, as a child, gone through some kind of psychoanalysis, most of us would be dyslexic for sure. Attention deficiency, even now you have. And then you say, genes. It is in the genes. But whose genes? Father's genes or mother genes? If anything is good, he will say, it's my genes. Yeah? She will say, my genes. And if anything is wrong, see, that brother-in-law of mine, no? He's brought his mama's genes. Yeah? See, our rishis not only declared, not only proved, but also gave a means for all mankind without any discrimination, without any restrictions, that intelligence is not a matter of genes, but intelligence can be developed. At any age, but definitely in a young age. So then you have a whole life to enjoy your intelligence, your success, not just at the time of death. And to gain the spiritual knowledge, which is beyond the mind of the infinitude of Brahman, how much more intelligence you require. Yeah? So for that, they were initiated into the Gayatri Mantra. Yeah? A very powerful mantra that not only clears our mind of all clutter, of all evil, or of all agitations, or that which causes agitations, also at the same time gives us focus of mind, calmness of mind, and when that intelligence rises, that mantra reveals to us not only the secret of the entire universe, because yesterday I told you the story that from the entire Veda, just these three lines, these three sounds, and the singular sound. Yeah. Not only the entire universe knowledge is there, but the entire knowledge of Vedanta that is beyond the body, mind, and intellect is revealed. Yeah. And of all the mantras that might be for different development, Gayatri mantra is for all aspects of your development. Now, as such, the word Gayatri, since Gayatri Devi is here, you should know her in a bigger. Yeah? Gayatri is a meter, which means the very word Gayatri means Gayana Trayati, Trayate iti Gayatri. That which by singing protects you. And therefore, it's one of the most beautiful meters. Since you chant it, you know the meter. So actually, Gayatri is a meter, and there are many Gayatri mantras. Now, don't get confused. Really speaking, when we use the word Gita, we only know the Gita that Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna because the most popular, applies to everybody. Yeah? In India today, also, if you go for, in India, if you go today and ask for bottled water, what you will say? Bisleri. Yeah. What do you call your photocopying machines even today? Xerox. Today there are how many online, meeting systems, but yet you will say, can we Zoom? Because of the popularity, the wide use of it. So this Gayatri mantra is also known as Savitri Gayatri or Savitri Gayatri because it is invoking the sun. There is also Vishnu Gayatri, there is Rudra Gayatri. So Gayatri is actually a meter. Now a little, would you like to? Otherwise I can go into the explanation of Gayatri mantra. Would you like to understand the science of mantra? Yes or no? Okay. Now, combine it with whatever science that we know. Even modern science points out to us this whole universe is made of the same basic particle, substance, energy. But all the differences that you see, after all the chemicals are made up of what? Same electrons and protons, basically. Same electrons and protons in different numbers, in different combinations, and therefore in the different states of vibration. In fact, the whole universe is made up of the same substance, yet you see the different forms, different colors, different shapes and different properties because of each of them vibrating with a certain frequency. Those which vibrate with the same frequency, they are similar. Okay, now you may not understand all of you, all of course highly educated, mostly into science, only with a computer science engineer, doctor, Indians, no? Yeah. So you know that much science. But suppose you're not. Hmm? But as Indian parents, when you want to get your children married, now many of you are not of that age, but when you were also of that age and your parents introduced you to, get married, you were not of that age where whoever they told you to get married, you wanted to know them. So you went out to meet them. It was not a date like it goes on now, right? So person they've chosen from a good family, earns very well, you know, tall, dark, and handsome, or tall, fair, and handsome, whichever your preference is. Yeah. Good job, good looking, person of good character. You know. So parents said, how is he? Nice. So should we fix the marriage? No. Why? What was wrong? Nothing wrong, but we were not gelling or vibing together. Don't you use that word? There are good and girls in this school also. But some you vibe with, some you don't vibe with. Is it not? Hmm? So can you understand this vibration, what it is? Now the same person in the house, no? Stay away. Today is not that day. Do you go and ask anything? Yeah. Because you can sense the vibration, the mood. The mood is also a vibration. Get it? Everything in this universe is a vibration. Your thoughts, why is it can be measured with electrodes? Because they are vibrations. So everything is a vibration, and with what vibration your mind is vibrating, it makes your mind receptive or non receptive to certain things. Huh? I was told that we are in the vibrations or that relay of an electric channel, a TV channel or TV tower, which means if you really want to watch TV, come to the ashram. The reception will be very good. It won't go. But it can disrupt your phones. Therefore, blockers were necessary. You can disrupt your phone. Huh? So, what you require at that certain time. Now, why is it that Archimedes discovered how to measure irregular objects? Because most of us have only linear thinking. Because logical linear thinking is what we are taught from childhood. And emotional thinking, we considered first was considered in most education system as you know very disruptive. Therefore, said, don't bring our emotions to the office. Huh? Now they are talking about emotional intelligence, and they are doing great research with electrodes and cathodes and anodes and all that. And all I have to tell them is learn from your mother. She's not studied any books on psychology, but she's the best psychologist. She knows everything. In fact, she's also the best psychic. She can read your mind. Huh? She's a part time nurse. She's a, you know, counselor, she's a doctor, not even if she studied professionally. She's a diplomat, yeah. Politician, politician in a nice name, you know? Yeah. See, emotional intelligence, and therefore, even in our books of Vedanta, how do you gain knowledge? Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yogad, Avahi. Come to know even the absolute truth by having consistency of thought, and that is called as faith, devotion, and with devotion there is attunement, hmm? At-one-ment, attunement, and dhyana, concentration. Come to know it. It's not that you sit there, Google, type something, copy something. Copy nowadays, it's not copying. That's what you look in the book and answer. It's your right. At least you chose the right answer from the book. But to be innovative, to be an entrepreneur, to go beyond the limitations of your mind, to be a discoverer, yeah, to go beyond what you have been taught, to more than that, you need a mind like that. Hmm? Now, easy said than done. So many things I have said, to cultivate each one of them is difficult. So, rishis did not say that intelligence is a matter of genes. And I'm telling you, what have we Indians taken for granted? Even in the science movies. As youngster, my interest was only in the science movies or some, you know, there was a beautiful movie called as Gardener. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah? There was a mentally challenged person, and all he could do was gardening and, you know, or mowing the ground. And the scientists picked him up, and these are case studies actually. Picked him up, and they could not teach him anything because, in a way, he's essentially impaired. So he is not able to do it. No, it was so interesting that what they did was flash images into his mind. For a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. Even today, autistic children on computers are geniuses. Hmm? All those who do not come from computer age, hmm, because of the icons, you can do a lot. Today, the biggest market for smartphones is India, where they do not know English. And even before Google Translation or Chat GPT or whatever, came into it, you should see the so-called uneducated people using the smartphone. You know, I to feel ashamed, when my that you know cleaner comes there and sab yani, I say, how did you manage it? Even I don't know how, even now, because I don't order anything. I don't know how to order anything from Amazon. This fellow does it. No? So, what I'm trying to tell you is a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. No? Now, we were laughed at, and now we are laughing at ourselves. Yeah? Our images, icons, forms of God, mandalas, Sri Chakra, Om, which are not only written symbols but sound symbols. All they did was these sounds, these images, they flashed in his subconscious or deeper conscious mind. And he turned out to be a genius. This I have discussions with the professors from this country. And now why are they dissuading our youngsters and making fun of them? Today it's not a religious battle, it's a commercial battle. Because we do not know what powerful tools we have. And this is one thing they admitted to me. That we know of such formulae from the books of India that even a child can calculate in a few seconds that which computers would take days to calculate. This is from our university professors here, not Indian origin. They to think that, and of all the mantras, of all the tools, not only to befriend your mind, but make your mind the most powerful equipment in the world, they gave the Gayatri mantra to the children. Let us just chant it again, and then we will go into the simple meaning, and by tomorrow unfold it at all its different depths. Om Bhurбhuvah Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. So when Brahmaji gave this mantra to the Devatas, and when a student comes to the school, the father, mother, and the guru, means teacher, initiates the child into the Gayatri mantra. And the children are given the simple meaning, because nothing was, because they know Sanskrit at that time. Now you don't know, it is something, They are taught how to chant it properly. Because first and foremost is mantra is in the sound form, it is a vibration. And as we will chant even towards the end of the session, you see the quietude not only in your mind, but the atmosphere around you. I've chanted with thousands of people in the hall. Not only the quietude that you experience normally when there is nobody there, but there is even intensity and quality of quietude. We'll demonstrate it here. So first of all, it is a vibration. Now, when you constantly chant it, not only your mind gets attuned to that vibration, which as I told you, gives you the clarity, helps you to concentrate, and makes your mind quiet. And since it is in that frequency that reveals the principal frequency of the universe. Okay, if everybody doesn't understand this, don't worry. Those who are physicists, those who are, that we get to the principle. And if your mind can hit that frequency, just like for Archimedes, many of you go in the tub and the water flows out without any drain there. Yeah? I see in your houses these tubs. I feel quite tempted to go and soak myself, but I dare not because if it flows out, I don't see any drain. They have to take towels after towels and yeah, what sensible toilets people make. Yeah. Why did Newton discover gravity? Of course, no, I'm not joking. Go read the books. Taittiriya Upanishad, commentary by Shankaracharya. Gravity was wrong there. Before that, known center of gravity, balance of body, everything has been given. Because Archimedes' mind was researching how to measure irregular objects. And as I said, we have got a linear thinking. So we think, it's not that we are not thinking, even concentrated thinking is there. But different thinking doesn't happen because we fall into a certain pattern of thinking. Yeah? That's why we're talking now about emotional intelligence. I'm connecting it back. Hmm? So, what intelligence we get, it's not ordinary intelligence. Like that, all of us sitting here are intelligent. Hmm? Some of you also might have a doctorate. Yeah? It is not that you're not intelligent, but our intelligence is also restricted. Now, Archimedes is thinking how? How can you measure? How are you going to measure each and every spike or this, that? It is impossible. But everything which you think is impossible is differently possible. Huh? It's differently possible. But how do we discover it? Now, see, it's not that everybody who goes into a tub on everybody's head and apple falls discovers gravity. They were applying their mind to it, but they were not getting answers through the usual channel of thinking, through a usual education, through your usual parameters. How to have that paradigm shift, that intelligence. Now he was applying his mind, he was concentrated, he's thinking of some high goal, which would be beneficial to the world. But when his mind became calm and water flowed out from the tub, suddenly he said, as per his irregular volume, that much volume of water is displaced. You measure the water, you get it. How simple it is. But that which once we discover is simple, when you think logically, it is an impossibility. That type of intelligence we are talking about. And everybody studying Vedanta, sorry to say, Vedanta though clearly says that you should be able to see when the Guru says it. Something which is here and now, but in next life are you going to discover it? Pretty much we just enjoy the jokes. Yeah? And they're very nice, very interesting, and very intelligent Vedantic jokes. But even that we don't understand. So that intelligence is when your mind vibrates in a certain frequency. Then that law reveals itself. This is the depth of what Gayatri. That's why anywhere you read, you're not going to get this explanation. Oh, you do Gayatri Mantra, your daughter will get married. You do Gayatri Mantra, your health will be good. Do Gayatri Mantra, you'll make so much money. And if you go on to the so-called, Indian spiritual channels, they call it spiritual channels, unlike those other spiritual channels of miracles and, I'm saved. Oh, you have everything from astrology to tavis, through pendants and all that. Oh, intelligent are these people, what they sell on that in the name. All you will see is a list of, oh, you'll get good health, you'll make so much money. That is just a byproduct. Of course, you will make it. But that which you enrich your life, enrich your living, and finally gain the infinite, that is the intelligence you can get from the Gayatri Mantra. Now, I've given you the whole science of it, but now I'll explain to you simple. Swamiji, why didn't you not explain the simple first? Huh? Because when I explain the depth of it, then you will get confused. And that what I explained simply also, I'm confused. Now let me tell you how children were taught the Gayatri Mantra. Because children at the age of 5, 7, 12 were given the Upanayana. So that they're trained by the time they get married how to attune with each other. Hmm? When the children were given the Gayatri Mantra, it is for their concentration of mind, focus of mind, plus it will work in its own, the vibrations, etc., will work. But children will just not do anything. And the child in us also doesn't want to do anything but play. So children are told that every day you, you have to keep this thread clean. Therefore, daily snana. Should I tell you another joke? Yeah. This is not to boast about India, but the only, and it is a, I'm telling you, it was a BBC document, you can search for it. The only BBC document that spoke well about India, yeah, was what the West or Europeans got from India. This is a BBC documentary because you may not trust amongst dyes of clothes, different types of textile, everything that they say they got from India. So because India, even what do you think? They came to pick up peanuts from India. They came to do trade in India, isn't it? Yeah. Others came to loot India. So it's not about boasting, but they said that. And even I was surprised. I was shocked, pleasantly shocked. That what the Europeans who came to India, the Americans stayed in America. Yeah. It is Columbus who came to America. So what did they learn from the Indians? Bharatiyas, to have a bath daily. Now, when the Upanayana was given, the children were said, first of all, especially when you live in a community, yeah, cleanliness, even physical cleanliness, therefore, daily snana. And with snana was their sandhya combined. No, that is their prayers. Have your bath in the morning, do your prayers. Bath in the afternoon, do your prayers, and have bath in the evening, and you do your prayers. And those were the 3 times that you were supposed to chant the Gayatri Mantra. Yeah? So when they said that they learned, because they never used to have bath for months. So Indians found them smelly. Now when they come to India, yeah, we've got natural perfumes. That's what they said, which means so clean, and the habit of bathing. So you're supposed to bathe and then do your Gayatri Mantra. Now, those days they bathed where in the rivers, in the open. No? So they were told, and even now you will read, that those who do Gayatri Mantra in the river or the ocean, facing the sun and the rising sun, setting sun, you can face up sun to anywhere you can't face. Facing the sun. And the children were told, and this is again in the Upanishads, and any story in the, Vedas, they're not ordinary stories. So, story is told to the children and see what is developed in the children with that. The story is that children, look yonder. Without the sun, we'll have no warmth. And children are generally afraid of darkness, aren't they not? Some are even now. Even when we are teenagers, we go out at late night, but when we come to our buildings and the light is not there, Mummy, can you come and pick me up? We are afraid of darkness because it is in darkness that all negativities, all crimes can happen. And you don't know what is happening. The fear of the unknown is there. So, most children are afraid of darkness. Now, you may not admit, but I admit. I used to be. That's why even if you wanted water, we'll tell our grandparents to go and bring it for us. And they so lovingly did not say, hey, you're young, I'm old, you go and do it. No? Now see, it is because of the sun we are protected. It is because of the sun we have got health, vitality, including that which is very much lacking for Indians because they like to be fair and lovely, and that is vitamin D. So now pay what you get freely. Keep taking vitamin D pills. So see, expose your body. I mean, if you say multiple things, in Gayatri Mantra, the sun is worshipped. We'll go into the deeper meaning of it. But first and foremost is that early morning and evening where sun is quite conducive for us even to see. I mean, there's a science also. Now, I won't tell you to do it, but it says that if you early morning and evening you see the sun, you'll have a bright eyes. Now, they say, no, clinically not proven, so don't. No? FDA not proven. Sun also requires proof these days. No? Not proven. But this much is proven that vitamin D in the body is created because of sunlight, just like photosynthesis. So expose your body to the sun. See a whole Surya Namaskar. Not to be worn with, track suits. Your front, your back, as you take the name of Aditya and you do multiple things. Not only for the body, but also mantra chanting for the mind. So as you expose yourself to the sun, so teacher tells them a very interesting story. The children, look, when the sun is rising, it is touching the earth, right? This is visual. For a child, the visual, till he studies science later on. It is touching the earth. And that is the time when early morning and evening clouds and fog form. That's what we know. But the children are told that there is an island in the horizon which is called as Mandeha. Yeah? Modern children, if they say avatar is avatar, it's Mandeha ashram. I mean, island. And the people who are there, just like those who live in America, Americans, those who live in India, Indians, so they are also called as Mandeha. but they are demonic. And all these monsters, and children love monster stories. Yeah. On television, Monster Inc., they'll watch. And then they'll say, oh, Ramayana, don't tell them, demons and all that. So these demons, they rise to devour the sun because only in darkness they can play havoc. Because even vampires cannot take the sun. No? Even modern stories are based on that only. When the sun comes out. But if all you doctors are sitting here, hmm, when I went to CIRS, children would come from home, and right after they come from holidays, begins their tests and their examinations soon after. These children would come, they bring with them the flu. That time COVID was not there. They bring the flu, they bring everything. And one by one, you see them all in the clinic. And you can't quarantine them because their friends will come to visit them. No? It's school friends only, inside. So everybody is given medication and the doctor doesn't remain perturbed. The dorm thing. So I was new there. I was saying, Arey, how can this work? 70 children, I've got this flu and all that. So he said, they come on the holidays when the rains are still, traces are there. So Amiji, within 1 week, the rains are going to stop, the sun is going to come, all the viruses are dead. So these SARS monsters, even recently we used to hear that in the summer months, they become less. So all these harmful things to us is actually roasted, burnt by the sun. Now, I'm telling you in this one story, every science is taught to the children. But we say, what bluff story? So they said that they are monsters, and these monsters want to devour the sun. So the sun doesn't rise, and it'll be only dark, and they can come and eat you up, devour you, or harm you, or make fun of you, or tease you, or frighten you. Therefore, we all have the responsibility to save the world, and we save the world by saving the sun. So they are told that this Gayatri mantra is so powerful that when you're having your bath, you gather the water on your palm and you charge it. Now you know the power of tirtha, baptism, whatever they do. Charge. Now when a Japanese scientist, you've heard of him? Says how the crystals of water change by even writing gratitude there. Can you imagine what we are doing with the waters of our river when we chant the Gayatri mantra and even one molecule gets charged? Your atmosphere changes by the chain reaction. Your water quality changes with the chain reaction. Why has from all the rivers, as much as you muddied Ganga waters do not stink even if you keep it for 20 years? Huh? That a Japanese had to tell us what our rishis knew. Huh? So they are told, you charge the water with Gayatri mantra. Now remember, if water can be charged with Gayatri mantra, 90% of your body and your brain is only water. Can you imagine? Even the water in your body. So you charge it with Gayatri mantra and then you offer it to the sun, and then you will see that it hits like lightning on the mandehas and they fall down, and the sun can come up to give us warmth, to give us light and protect us from all harm. And when it is going back, not to rest in its mummy's house, see that these mandehas don't catch him and keep him there, so otherwise he can't come back tomorrow. So children gather together. We have to save the sun, and to save even, even in the house, when Papa is going out for travel, and the son said, Papa, don't go. I'm afraid. Are you're the man of the house. You have to look after everybody. Now, this is not to say that girls or the mother is only looking after everybody. No. Now, when he thinks that he is in charge of his younger siblings' protection, even now we see these children when we go to the park. I just told one child, don't touch this. The other brother comes and says, don't touch it, don't touch it. I thought, we could poison ivy and all in the garden. So once they take responsibility, yeah, they feel in charge. They also learn how to take responsibility of the world, and they get that encouragement by giving them some charge, some responsibility. I mean, I can go endlessly saying what happens. But when they offer this, and when the sun rises every day, they do this ceremoniously. You have to save the sun. You have to save the sun. Huh? And therefore, that thing about taking water and offering as argyam to the sun. Now the children have done it. But now they have studied from that same teacher who told them this so called bluffo bluff story. And by now they have understood. And if you read the Vedic Suktams, yeah, long before the world even knew that the planets go round the sun and not the sun round the planets, yeah, even the distance between the earth and the sun is listed. Yeah. And do you all know that Ravan actually used to have his honeymoon on the moon? The distance between the earth and the moon also has been listed in the Ramayana. We don't know our own original books. And by the way, even I was told from Columbia University. At least believe them, right? Now these children have grown up from the teacher and they've understood that sun is not just a ball of light, beautiful ball of light, and the distance between the earth and the sun is so much. And there is no, in the geography that they've studied, there's no island called as Mandesh. The Guru forgot that he didn't tell us about the secret Bermuda. By the time they have even started traveling, etc., they don't find any such island. What bluff for bluff the teacher made us do for 8 years? But having got used to it, subconsciously they have known the power of the Gayatri Mantra inside. They can't stop putting, standing there and offering to the sun. They can't stop it now. But those wise students said, this intelligent teacher who gave us this knowledge, told us the story, therefore there should be something more in this story than some. Should I reveal it today only or tomorrow? I mean, the children have to grow up. Okay, so you'll say you have grown up. Yeah? They understand what the trick the Guru played on them and how wonderfully he did it and how blessed that they are because the Guru spoke no untruth. Yeah? Because this sun cannot even illumine my scalp and remove my dandruff. How can it illumine even my brains and my skull and my intelligence? So the Guru meant something much more. And one thing they recognized Yes, there is an island called as Manah and Deha, mind and body. Each one is an island, no? And when we get attached to it and all the selfish, egoistic thoughts rise, they are like the demons that cover the brilliance of that consciousness within each one of us. And therefore, what a revelation, if you tell them, they will not, for a teenager is that there is that brilliant consciousness in each one of us, that one sun for the entire universe. To the extent our minds are agitated, the clouds cover the brilliance of the sun. But when the agitations of my mind is reduced, that source of light that shines through my mind is the brilliance of the intellect. So even though people just, that's why I've not translated it for you. The translate of Gayatri Mantra is Dhimahi. I meditate on what? The Bhargaha, the effulgence, which is Varanium, which is worshipable, desired by everybody. So I meditate upon the worshipable divine light of what? That Devasya Savitu, that divine sun. Yeah. So Dhimahi, I meditate on what? Varanium Bharga. That desirable, coveted, wanted by everybody brilliance of who? That divine sun. Tat Devasya Savitur. And very often it is said like a prayer, but it's a statement of fact. Na diha, our intellect, prachodayat, that inspires, illuminates our intellect. And then commonly people say that, O divine sun, I meditate on you, please give me intelligence. That's how it is generally translated. Tomorrow, now we'll go into the depth of it, and tomorrow will be the last session. Yeah. I enthusiastically thought that I was invited for one more day. So, anyway, wonderfully, today I could cover a lot. Now, tomorrow, how does a youngster understand, and how useful is this understanding for the youngster to develop his intellect, and for the highest meditator who is prepared by these means, according to Shankaracharya, that this is a Mahavakya. It is that statement that reveals to us the absolute reality, the truth, the Brahman, and our identity with that. So we shall reveal it tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.